Now, in continuation of these audio series that I have here before you, I'm going to finish talking about what I was talking about music influence. Okay, when you sit back and you do the psychology and you do your research on how the new generation that is here presently today is the way that it is, when you have a senseless mindset, that not you but the generation themselves, where the behavior is lofty and is missing a soul function, that is SOUL, okay, function, okay, that tells you with all due proof and evidence that there is no sensible logic involved. And who is the general proportionate idea of a logical thinker, and that is the male in the home. That is a balanced home. That is man and woman working together for a logical sense of concern for their current generation or their children, what they are watching and what they're listening to. But however, there are several reasons why logic is gone. Okay? Because one of the reasons that you got to rehash is the children of the modern age today are born of illogical fruits. All right? And then because of that, you have either fathers are too young and unlearned to comprehend the responsibility that they are creating by having a child by another irresponsible young female adult. Okay? Or the father is just completely absent from the child's life, either by the strong arm force of the woman herself neglecting him of being able to see his children, which is very common, my American people, very common. Okay? Or he's just absent for other seldom reasons. Now I'm going to bash something right completely in the head with facts. Should you come across a group of people or women or anybody who tell you that there are just deadbeat dads who don't care about their children, you are dead wrong. You understand? Generally and specifically, all fathers love their children. All fathers love their children, and they do it for a reason, and they have a connection to their kids on a general basis. Okay? Oftentimes, there is commonly the average American woman who will tell this guy that if you're not going to be with me, then you cannot be with your child either. So with all due power and vindictiveness, all right, and evil intention, regardless of how the child feels, regardless of the damage that's done to the child, she will use that child as a weapon against the father on a common basis. And then there you go with the generation, by the extent of time, which is born of the senseless, irresponsible, illogical fruits that you are actually experiencing with the with negative music, with senseless behavior and empty relationships and valueless communication, and definitely the disconnect of being socially awkward. Okay, so now I'm going to get on to what I have promised you as well, as far as delivering one of my more prominent, important red pills for some of you. And definitely for you men, I need you to listen up clearly. But before we get there, I'm going to answer one of my emailers here. Then I'm going to get back to the general subject. It's going to be big. It's going to be important. And I need you to open up your ears and sit down and take in this red pill and understand what I'm saying. Before I get to that point, one of my emailers emailed me and asked me a question about religion and specifically Christianity. And I'm going to get that on a periodical basis. I don't mind repeating myself. I don't mind sharing important experiences with you, my American people, because oftentimes somebody or someone might just see at least one or two of my videos and they will skip several of the others that actually explain the entire development. Every audio that I have for you explains the entire picture. I am creating the real bush, the real bush of knowledge, that bush that some of you read in the Christian Bible, that Moses went up to the top of the mountain and it's burning bush. Okay, I'm actually creating a burning tree. This burning tree is an apparatus of different subjects and different ideas, different facts and truths that actually has one root. And you will quickly find out when you follow with me and become a part of my subscriber group, and you are loyal to at least understanding and opening your mind to a higher avenue of what this world is really all about. Okay, you'll find out the root will lead you to freedom. The root will lead you to dismissing the matrix and being, as I always tell you, the Superman and the Superwoman that you really are. And you will quickly find out that the cape, that is the cape of the world, the deceptions around you and the connection pieces that's been upon you has been parasitic against your energy that belonged to you the entire time. But you've been giving your energy away to substances of the world that is insignificant to your personal soul, should you have soul. And I have other videos on that in the future. Again, to give you more breadcrumbs, I will speak about who has soul and who does not have soul. So if you're curious about that, okay, it is coming for you. Now, let me get on to the subject because I don't want to waste a lot of time. All right. He asked me, he said, when it comes to religion, I want to know, Leon C, aka Morpheus, if you don't stand by it, then what type of religion do you have? What type of grounds do you have, since you are not holding on to a sky daddy's hands? All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and ask this emailer and share it with you individuals. Apparently, this viewer have been watching and listening to my audios because that's what I consider your idea of God or power is a sky daddy on a common basis. That's how we look at that entity to be, because that is what the masses think of it to be, because that's what it's taught. That is what's programmed within our mind. But of course, as Morpheus, I know differently, but I'm not going to give you the details and all the fullness of the knowledge right now. Okay, it will be given again as the videos unfold for you. But I'm going to answer the question. No, I don't stand by religion. And what type of religion do I have? My religion is logical reality. My religion is the thinking faculties and obvious evidence of the everyday world, of your environments that you can actually pick up and feel. Okay, I don't consider it to be as religion. I consider it to be as life and as being totally free and totally unbound by deceptions or the foolhardy methodical thinking of any past relationships or any past history, any past explanation of someone else's perception. Okay, how I got to that point was by sitting down and thinking about what was being told to me. I sat down and I studied it. I listened to what was being said. I listened to the pastors. Okay, I went to the various religious groups and I sat there and I studied what they wanted me to study. And then I challenged it with reality. I challenged it against its own contradiction, and definitely with history and with science. Science will completely debunk. It will detect, and oftentimes it will make a contradictory after or on what you may otherwise hope or what you may otherwise think is real. Okay. And oftentimes you don't even need to go that far. If you sit down and you see the way that the world is today, you realize it is not religion that is running everything. It is a perception of mankind. Okay. That is misleading itself. All right. I don't need a religion because I have a library of books. Okay. I don't need religion because I have facts. I don't need religion, which is realistically superstition. Okay. Because I have logical thinking and sensible evidence that I can depend on an everyday basis. You want to ask me, what do? I simply live. What do I usually focus on with my spirituality is my personal spirituality, because spirituality and religion are two different things. My relationship with, you could say, the forces and the energy of the world, or you could say my perception of Godship, or what it means to be a superior being that have created the heaven and earths, okay, is a unique one, and it is an individual perception that is based on my energy and what I know the universe to be. When you begin to understand that, as I understand it for myself, you begin to understand that you are an individual soul. Although we may succumb several common situations together on this earth, we deal with common situations that we need to help each other out. Yes, we should unify. We should support each other and do what I am doing right now as Morpheus to save you and whatever soul that you may have. But in the end, it is up to you. You have the crayons in your hand, and nature, which is the universe, gives you a white piece of paper and tells you, write, draw. Too many times, and I stated before, people want you to draw what they want you to draw. Because whatever implementation that they're putting in your mind about their perception of religion or so-called God is usually going to land you in a powerless position. It's going to land you to be limited because you're going by someone else's perception and schematic. When you so happen to go by another person's schematic for your life or a blueprint, okay, you are not being who you are. You are being who they are. Do you understand? Your task as an individual or a soul who was bound to advance is to study and to learn from what wise people or red pill administrators such as myself was giving you, is to learn from it and use it to advance yourself, to rise higher, to take the information that is given to you, okay, and to find out where you fit at in existence, not find out where you fit in existence by someone else putting you there by either force, by tradition, or by fear. When you look at a lot of religions, a lot of it is born of fear. A lot of it is born of shaming you. A lot of it is born of forcing you to do something that you would not otherwise do if you never knew anything about the religion to begin with. Let me give you an example, and I'm going to move on to the next emailer. Okay. In Christianity, there was several churches that I have visited in my times of study. And it is common, especially in some of the American churches, in some of the cities and towns, and the Christian, you could say the Christian faith, okay? The apostolic faith, to be specific. They have a saying: when you leave the church, they call you a backslider, okay? Think about that for a moment. They call you a backslider. And a logical, sensible, intelligent person would ask the question, what is a backslider? But should you have to? Okay, stand up for a moment, and you are allowed to do that because you're sitting in front of me in the chair, Neil. Just stand up for a moment, and I want you to reach your hand behind you and touch your spinal cord for a moment there. What is the only thing that slides behind your back? Okay, now this is an adult channel, right? This is an adult audio, okay? If you have a child watch it, it's not going to be grotesque, or just, it's not going to distort their thinking, okay? It's just actual fact and simple. It's not terrible. What is the only thing that slides down your back? Okay, go eat some White Castles and you do your math, okay? How could you, now tell me this, why would you be considered as a backslider, which is actually another term of calling you a pile of yes, right? For you believing in what you stand for, or shall I say, for you developing your own sense of life and logic. How could a group of people consider themselves to be the love of what they think God is, or a gesture, as I always say? Would your creator or your so-called lover call you a backslider, right? A pile of, just because you decide not to agree with what they think God or the universe is. Okay. As a child, this have awakened me up. This really gave me it gave me the strongest red pill that really made me back away from religion very slowly and begin to see the people as completely delusional. Okay. Because when you think about it, think about your child for a moment. If you have, and some of you already, it don't matter. You can have a 45-year-old child to an 8-year-old child, okay? Or somebody who has a child. The only time you may ever call your child a backslider, okay, which is actually another term for calling them you little, okay, is I can imagine you sitting on the couch and you have a cold glass of water. You just got home from work. You're tired. It's hot outside, okay, and you're getting ready to eat this nice bowl of taco salad with lettuce that you might consider to be their only form of healthy, but nonetheless, it's a taco salad, okay? And one of your children just so happen to run in the front room or wherever you're at, and they get close to you enough to where they tip the your taco salad over. Now it's gone. I mean, fresh taco salad too. You just made it, okay? Yeah, you may for a moment say, "Oh, you little, why would you?" And especially you women, single mothers, don't tell me that you don't, because we've seen and experienced. I've experienced it. I hear that going across the street. I can hear it coming out of some of the stores. Some of the children, they might push a cart too far and hit the side of your car. Or they might step on your toe, or they just do something that you otherwise are always emotional about instead of, actually explaining it to them. So you just yell at him instead, or her, which again, I'm not going to get into that, but that's what creates the broken child to a broken adult. But first thing come out of your mouth, you little how the hell would you do something like that? It will last for a few minutes. Or let's just say they tip over, not the bowl of salad, they tip over the cold glass of ice water all over you while you're sitting on the couch. That's probably easy to stain, like suede or something like that. Should that ever happen, okay? And you're already upset, you're already mad, arguing with your companion or whoever it is, and they come around and, mommy, daddy, and they ornery in their behavior, and they just tip the glass over by accident. First thing that come out of your mouth isn't gonna be, "I love you, baby. You didn't mean to do that." No, you little okay. It's almost like that. If you want to tie that into, it's like saying, okay, you decided to walk away from being mind washed, excuse me, another form of an indoctrination institution, but you decide to walk away from this system that binds your instincts and your evolution. And all of a sudden, somebody who's supposed to be your creator, someone who's supposed to love you, call you a backslider, a pile of because you decided to live your own life. That should be enough for at least 1,000 of you, or even if you are Christian and you have a religious sector or mindset, that should at least make you sit down and be like, wait a minute, let me think about this for a moment. You should think about that for a second. Because if you consider that to be superior love from someone who is smarter than the human race, from a power who is ever knowing, or you could say for some of you, a force of energy that have created existence itself, to call you a backslider, okay, that just shows you just how demented and receded not only the confidence of the common person here today is, but just how lost the individual is in being misled in the definitions of what real love, life, and soul really is. Okay, so when you begin to find that out, you begin to say, okay, maybe religion is not an idea. No, it's not. Because there's a difference between spirituality and religion. So my religion, I don't have none. I don't need one, don't want one. You keep your religion for yourself. It's more like tradition and superstition. Morpheus talks about the facts. Okay, I stand on my own 2 feet. It's not easy it's not a 1 to Z. I mean, A to Z. It's not A to Z. It's not an overnight thing. You have to, what happens is this. You have to negate, reject, and deprogram everything that you used to know. And going through that process, and I'm going to tell you right now, every man and woman will not survive. It is not easy. It is not easy to negate everything that you were taught of since you was a child, because it's going to be step by step. Everything you know is going to have to be tethered away one piece at a time. Just like peeling an onion, you're not just going to immediately start dicing it. Otherwise, you will find yourself in the morgue. Okay, that's nothing but the truth. You'll find yourself standing on the highest building, and you will jump. Okay, because you will feel completely hopeless, and So the process is very slow. And what brings you to that point is evolution and the real positive energy of what you consider God to be. Because God is a sense of knowledge, truth, and facts, America. So what happens is once you start discovering things one piece at a time, you start learning what you thought you knew wasn't true, because you have agents of, I could say, agents of evil, and you have agents of good. There are those who are pulling against the lie, and the lie wants to keep you bound to be this limited species. Okay, then you end up, of course, having an extreme struggle. There will be nights where you will have to pick up a bottle and drink. There will be times where you have to walk alone. You have meditation time. There will be time where you have to sit yourself down and say, shut up and listen. And there's times definitely where you have to use your mind. And for some people, that's the hardest thing to do, because they're so used to everyone else telling them how to use their mind. Just like the schools, the schools tell you, the skills don't tell you how to use your mind. The skills tell you what to think. Okay. Engineering tells you what to think and what to believe. Okay. Your religious tradition tells you what to believe and what to think of the universe and your sense of God. So therefore, now that you will become a fresh baby stepping out of it, you got to take it one day at a time. But I would tell you, once you get to that place where you have negated and disemboweled and defused all the deceptions and all the lies, trust me when I tell you this, you will be the best man and woman that you could ever be. You will find life to be at peace. Right now, I'm at peace. You can say, okay, Morpheus, how do you do this? You don't go to the church. You're not religious. You don't read the Bible. You calling that person gesture. You're not ashamed. You're brave. You're bold, and you're still here. Yes, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. That's right. I still eat healthy. I still jog. Okay. I'm still a physical trainer. Okay. Read books, live just like you. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit more free. Well, very much more free than what I ever used to be, because now I'm able to see life for what it is. But in order to get to that point, that means you have to stand on your own 2 feet. And that means you are becoming what you are supposed to be. You are not what the world wants you to be. The world, or you could say deception, wants you to be a bound entity of limitation. Truth in life, okay, makes you see the world for what it really is, and you stand over the world. Okay, the world wants you to be underneath it. You're underneath regulations. You're underneath being limited. You're underneath falsification and lies, and you accept it. Whereas your grave comes sooner than later. Once you leave all that behind, you will realize you don't need your medication. You will realize you don't need your doctors. You realize you don't need your teachers. You realize you don't need these people around you. You will truly be independent. You will truly stand strong. Even your weapons will be insignificant, because you have the weapons of knowledge and facts. Should you ever get to that point, there will be too many indoctrination and social engineering systems that will lose their power over you and their ability to pilfer money from your ignorance. There you go. Now, stand by, ladies and gentlemen, because now I'm going to talk about another red pill for you gentlemen. Listen up closely, and hopefully we will get through this without any distractions. If I make a 4, I would not be surprised. Ladies, I need you to understand something in this audio, and I need you also, men, to listen up, because some of you think and you ask a question, and this is actually from one of my emailers who emailed me. So this is for you, Carl. Okay. Carl with the /DD. Now listen up carefully. Some of you asked the question and said, what if I meet the unicorn and I have met her since I was 16 and 17 years old? And I'm with this woman practically for the rest of my life, and we still getting along together 35 something years later. Okay. And how would that pan out? Well, I would tell you this, my American people and ladies, I have something special for you in this as well. So as you're listening, you're going to get this from a red pill alpha man's perspective. And I speak for a lot of men who agree with Morpheus. I'm only here to help you and to give you insight. First of all, I am going to put up a balance beam in front of you. I want you to stare at this balance beam for a moment. The balance beam have one pendulum, or you can call it a pin that's in the middle and is standing straight up. On one side, it is yin. The other side, it is yang. That is, one is male, one is female. You can switch it around if you want to, but it's still male and female. That is you in the home. That is him in the home. Right now, it is balanced because you're not together. As odd as you may think, but just stare at it for a moment. I have met a friend of mine who just so happened to transform to be one of my clients. He was constantly, actually, he was in the military, okay? And they would deploy month to month. And some of you military men know how this operates, where you'll be home for a few weeks and you have to be deployed for a few more weeks for training and so forth and so on. Well, you're never home, okay? I was responsible for teaching the kids and watching them every so often. And oftentimes I find myself, even if I'm tutoring and mentoring the kids, I end up watching them as well. So it ends up being a double-edged sword, but it ends up benefiting my clients at the same time, where they have their babysitter and they have their teacher at the same time. Okay. And I was speaking to a couple of my girlfriends that was actually there as well. So that was more of a benefit. So it was a good circle to be in that benefited pretty much everyone. All right. And so this gentleman would leave the home and be deployed. And I will often, as he come back home and his wife is there, wife of many years, and he would have a sorrowful look on his face. There was no smiling. It was just, he come home and it's, oh, here I am again. Like, oh, here we are. Oh, well, this is, it's another day. So this went on for quite some time. I teach the kids. My girlfriend that was over there would help babysit the kids, or she'll babysit the kids themselves, and they run around the house. They'll do what kids do. Okay. As you can imagine, yes, I was and is a male being able to babysit and watch somebody else's children. But remember, at the time as well, I was teaching their kids. So it wasn't just something that was freely trusting, but it was a good feeling as well to know that at least America, or some families and people, are moving in the right direction. Not thinking that every male have bad intentions, that every man is stranger danger. Every man have bad intention. Men can be just as good as babysitters as women. Just because they are a man, that doesn't mean they're dangerous. Just because they're masculine, that doesn't mean they have evil intentions. And that's what we need to get over here in America, because we have a bad habit of thinking that women make the best nurse, women make the best caregivers, women make the best babysitters. As a matter of fact, if you look at the generations today, no, they have not. If you've been watching the news, okay, most, if not all, but most of your horrendous situations that have occurred, okay, was from those various women that you thought was so innocent and sweet, because the only thing that a lot of families, people, or mothers and fathers think is the best thing is because she is a woman, and that's it. The fact that she is a girl, okay, you can watch my kids because you are a woman and you can never do any harm. You are a female and you can never do any harm. But yet, oftentimes you read the news, oftentimes you hear on a constant basis that she will call her boyfriend over, okay, do donkey dunking right there in front of somebody's kids, cursing right there in front of somebody's kids, outside on her cell phone while the kids are in the house getting to laundry detergent and bleach, American people. Or she's not teaching the child anything, especially from a logical standpoint of view, because she's too busy in her cell phone. She's too busy on the computer. She's too busy looking at the kids as a paycheck, getting paid from the family or the daycare, whatever we want to think about. However she gets paid to do that, it's not legitimately or realistically because she cares about the kids. It's because of the paycheck, and because she's a woman, They consider her to be a sheep in sheep clothing. But however, as you do your research on a constant basis, they are not no differently dangerous than they are a male being in a home anymore. Okay. So that was at the time where there were sensible American people who had the common sense and logic to realize that particular fact. Okay. Trust still have to be earned. But at the same time, just because you are a certain gender don't need to mean that you need to be judged or be scrutinized just because you are a certain gender watching children. Men can do just as many great things as females can do, and they can also raise their kids alone. They can be a single father in the world raising their son and their daughter. They do it all the time. Okay. As a matter of fact, they make a good logical backbone. Okay. They have a lot to offer kids instead of emotions. They have a lot to deal with, especially when it comes to hot and heated situations where you could say where drastic decisions need to be made, where a man will usually not use emotions. He will use logic and sensible action, which is what you would think will be best around your kids when they're at home alone. So you put that too in your lexicon, and you need to think about that. Just because she's a little girl, she's 19 and she's in college and she got glasses on and she looks so innocent. Oh yeah, you can come over and watch my kids. Okay. You would be dead wrong, and you don't want to be dead wrong by thinking that that's going to be the best decision, because that male that you think is a big wolf and dangerous can be the very thing that you need in your life. I know that because I've been there and I've done that. Okay. I have done many rescuing. I have done many of logical teaching. I have been able to place and put many of families and people straight from situations that it could have been catastrophe because I am male, because I am logical, because I am the sensible protecting factor that they needed. Just because you may hear on the news or around the world about what happens, you could say in a very a crucial matter because what somebody else did. Okay, doesn't mean that you need to use prejudice and misjudge every other individual because they're the same gender, because they're male. Oh, every man is just, no, he has a hidden agenda. I'm not going to trust him. No, look at him. He's 6'7", 500 pounds. There's no way I'm going to let my 2-year-old around this guy. No sense at all. You don't understand that 6'7", 500 guy will be the very thing that'll keep your 2-year-old alive and love your child to death. And really take care of it. You don't think men have soft spots for kids? Then you got a problem. Where did the child come from? The woman just didn't just pull the seed out of the sky. Okay, she didn't impregnate herself. It took a logical male to make that happen. Okay, yin and yang. Keep looking at that balance for a moment there. Now, so getting back to the story, the interesting thing happened where, as you would know, this happened on the day in and day out. He would leave for a month or two, come back. He'd leave for a week, come back. So it was his everyday reality. All right. And slowly I began to get a little more information out of him. He was a little bit more, you could say, open with me eventually over time, and told me a little bit about his relationship with his wife. And he began to explain to me that he met her, again, emailer, fresh out of, I don't think it was called fresh out of school. You know, he'd known her since she was 17. She was a friend of his since 17, 18. Okay. So they've been together for a long time from the age 17, 18. Okay. And built a relationship with her. Of course, you know, stayed together. He did his college courses, and she did as well. He decided to go off to the military. Okay. And she decided to do some work on her own. She did some college, and they stayed together and began to have kids because they had at least 5 or 6 kids together. Yes, they did. Okay, it's still possible. Women, there's still families out there that are growing like that, depending on the male and the female that's coming together. So I thought it was at first a very good thing that this large family was here, and he would come back and wife will be well together. I haven't heard any bad stories about her doing donkey dunking with anybody. She didn't do any donkey dunking with me. She kept herself together. She was a good joker. Okay. She had her head on straight, seemingly, as far as what I was able to see. But there was something else, ladies, that I need you to know of, and men, that oftentimes you do not see and not willing to see. MGTOW is trying to talk to you. You don't want to listen. And some of you women don't want to listen. All right. Alpha red pill men like myself usually tell you these things every now and then, and you don't want to listen because so entrapped in the tradition. There's nothing wrong with having children and having a family. That's fine when it comes to passing on your genes, if that's what you want to do. Okay. And it's nice to be a nice family, but there's something that you men and women need to understand, and I'm going to talk about it. It's called your inner person. There is an inner person inside you that I am concerned about. Okay. Yeah, I'm concerned about your health. I'm all about that. I'm all about your growth and your outside and your metaphysical persona. But that little person on the inside is who I am talking to on an everyday basis. Why I'm giving the red pill for them that's inside you. Because one day that little person is going to grow. One day that person is going to evolve. And when it does, you will, as what we know of by you listening, my listeners, you will see why the divorce rate is 80% on an often basis. You will see why nobody wants to be in a steady relationship. You will see why kids are being born and just left there without any responsibility and concern about them. Okay, because we don't realize something. We think that tradition and that way of just throwing your life away. Now, I'm not saying that it's worthless. Don't get me wrong. Unification is what I'm all about. We need families to come together. We need man and woman to respect. We need children to see that there's mommy and daddy there. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. But most times y'all do it just to be doing it and have no qualms or idea as to responsibility that this is going to be for the rest of your life. That you got to invest in that child's future. And now your life that used to be your single life, used to be you free going wherever you want to go, putting posters on the wall, go hunting like you want to, go horseback riding a boat, you understand, going to the shooting range, go riding a bike, whatever you love to do as a man, especially for some of you women. Okay, but I'm not going to get on you. This is for the men right now. You are to listen as I'm speaking for men and talk to men, so you can learn something from this as well, because there's going to be a niche in there for you. Okay, while you are able to do that, okay, a lot of you men want to cash your chips in and say, yeah, I'm going to have a kid because I want to satisfy this girl, and I think a family is the way to go because my church say do it, my daddy and mommy say do it, so I'm going to do it. So I'm going to don my blue pill, blue shirt, and my blue tie and pretty much dive into it full head. But you need to realize something, and you're going to notice this in my other audio logs that I'm going to be dropping crumbs with you on the entire audio logs, talking about your inner person. I'm going to be giving you puzzle pieces to lead up to complete acclamations. Never forget this audio, because I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you a secret that you need to focus on. And most of my audios, okay, if you listening carefully, I'm going to give you puzzle pieces to your inner self, piece by piece. So trust me and believe, okay, when you get done listening to Morpheus, trust me, you're going to find what it is really all about. Then you will see why I need to take my time with you, because you are important to me. So therefore, you dive into tradition, getting back to the story. That little person inside still wants something. Your little person inside still wants something. I'm going to tell you what it wants in just a moment. Like I always say, bear with me back to the story, and it will all be revealed to you. So getting back to my gentleman that I was spending time with and teaching his kids and blah, 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 blah on an everyday basis, watching TV, sports ball games, and going out to different places. Okay. There was a day where he came back home from being, some of you call that, there's a name for it, but going back out to his mission, I would say. Okay. Deployed, right. And he came back And we were all in the kitchen. His girlfriend was there, and his 6 kids and some extra, okay, and myself. And he walked in there, and I didn't see a smile on his face. He just stood there in the doorway for a moment and waved his hands and walked back upstairs, gave his girlfriend a hug, stuff like that. Of course, after a few minutes, he began to settle down, to sit down on the couch and let things be as it is. And one of his kids walked up to him, hey, Daddy, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Love you, miss you. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, so he's trying to concentrate on TV now because he needs peace and quiet. He needs time to himself. Red pills coming. Listen, ladies. He needs time to himself. He needs a place for himself. He needs something to identify him. Now, I am observing this place now. This is way before I was Morpheus. This is before I began to take the red pill. I was studying and taking notes during this time. I'm observing everything and seeing that something's wrong with the matrix. There's a glitch on the wall. There is a, what do you call that? There is a, I can't think of what the word is that they call it, but it's going to come to me in a few minutes. Okay. There's a glitch in the matrix, a deja vu. Yes. There's a deja vu in the matrix, and I'm standing like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, there's a deja vu. And I see that he's on the couch and everything around him is kid stuff. Kid toys, bowls and spoons all on the table. Okay, his wife is donning the usual garb that she usually wear, and I'm just sitting there observing everything. And upstairs, of course, I think there's another downstairs with the room with the kids. Room on the side was the kids' stuff that they sleep in and so forth. So I begin to look and I say, okay, wait a minute. This man is working. He's leaving. He's getting deployed. He's doing his career. He comes back home, and where is his where's his stuff? I'm like, where's his fishing gear? Where is this guy's? Where's his items? Where's his trophies? Where's his posters at? Where's his motorcycle? What does he do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can imagine, having a family of 6 kids, there wasn't a lot of him anyway. Those were his kids. When he did any activity, they had to go with him, or he had to do something with his wife. He didn't have too much time, but they'd go out places, hang out with each other, and oftentimes when they go out to do something with each other, I'm there watching their kids or teaching them. So they'll take that time while I'm sitting there going over their homework or their studies. They'll go ahead and escape while they can, which only makes sense to me. Exit stage left. But however, the push came to shove, and I'm going to make the story, I'm going to try to make it short. Forgive me if I'm kind of long-winded and beating around the bush. You just want to get to the core of it. He came home one day, and I heard a muffle under his voice, and it was very unmistakable. He comes home, and the kids are at the door. There's a little bit of greeting, but it's not no, hey, Daddy, you're home. No, it's just a regular, okay, Daddy's home. He's here, whatever. And the kids go upstairs. They start running around. You hear the noise. Boom, 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 boom. Somebody drops something. Just a normal kid playing around the house. And he said it where I can hear him, because he was gone that time for 2 weeks being deployed. He came back. He said, I didn't want to come home to this. I said, wait a minute. Did he just say that? Wait a minute. What? Did he just say that? I still, wait a minute. This looked like paradise. Like, wait a minute, ladies. This isn't, wait a minute. So I let him relax, get himself together, and he sat down on the couch. I went and got a beer for him, and I gave him a beer. I said, I hate to intrude, but I heard you say something, and I don't want to take it wrong, but did you say you did not want to come home to this? And he began to explain to me that he just wants some peace and quiet, place of his own. And no, he didn't want to come home to that. He didn't want to come home to that anymore. Whereas, ladies and gentlemen, his freedom was being away from home. His freedom was being himself. being the man that he needed to be, being this gentleman who was not tied down to those types of traditional responsibilities. Maybe years ago when procreation was important, but here in this generation, it's not about just procreation. It's about getting along with the opposite sex. Mind you, I got to intrude my opinion on this as far as me and Morpheus, myself as Morpheus. I would more consider spending time with my woman, going places and traveling with her, and enjoying our freedom and what we can do with each other, bowling, dancing, going to Las Vegas, gambling, and just driving fancy cars and laughing and going to comedy shows, than to have something in the middle of our relationship with his children. They're beautiful, but there is a higher risk of having an intimate and a separation in a relationship because of that major responsibility there, especially when you have 4 or 5 different kids. So if I were to get onto that, or if I was interested in a steady relationship, all right, it will be from me to my woman. That's it. Kids, I love them, as you know, and I want them to have a bright future. But I realize the risk that it will take. I realize that my paradise won't be as glamorous as it should be because of the life is already a distraction as it is. Life is already hard. You understand? We have already too many demands, and you're away 9 to 5. Both people are working. You got enough as it is that keeps you away from learning each other. So why would you put responsibilities there that you and him may not be on page for? You and him are not really mentally ready for, and really don't comprehend the concept. Okay, just to add that to it. So he began to tell me, well, yeah, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. We've been together for a long time. I love my children. I don't regret them. But man, I need some space to myself. Man, I remember the days when, here we go, ladies. Here we go, America. Here you go. Here's your niche. I remember the days where I came home and I had me here. I had something to identify myself. I had baseball card collections. Okay. I was a very good bowler. I had bowling trophies all over the place. I had to move them and get rid of them because I had to make room for the kids and the hampers, dishwasher systems and stuff like that. Yes, women. Okay. He was like, man, I'm just getting tired of it. I need something that's going to give me something that's going to, just, man, I just feel congested. I feel like I can't breathe here because it's constant responsibility. It's constant heavy labor, heavy burden. And that really woke me up for a moment there. And of course, the conversation goes further, and I wrote this down so I would never forget. So give me a moment as I pull in the pages, because I want to make sure I get it right, because I want you to learn something today. Oh, he began to say, well, man, I began to harp on him as being a health mogul and all about eating good and eating healthy. Although I gave him a beer that one time, I still got on him about eating the right foods, by eating his vegetables, leave beer alone. Why is it that he smoke every now and then, knowing that it's not good for him, and, he wants longevity with the kids and stuff. He began to tell me that he needed to escape. He didn't know how to handle the pressure and the stress. I don't know what some of you women think. Oh, he ain't man enough. No. Men, let me tell you something about men. Men need to have something to identify themselves. When they come home, they need to see themselves, not just in their children, on the walls and the tapestry. They need to come home and know that that's his place of peace and rest and an escape. When he is drowning in responsibility, when he come home and his walls is empty of any type of posters, any type of extracurricular activity or hobbies that identifies him. When now the pendulum is moving, my ladies, listen, it's moving now. Take a look at the pendulum. When he comes home and it's all about what she wants. She always want to go somewhere. She want to go to the movies. She need to be entertained. We need to do this. We need to do that. Go outside and put the fence back together. We need to take the kids over here to get their earwax cleaned. Okay, they got a dentist appointment. We got all this. Take them to after school programs. Blah blah blah. Your child's upstairs. They're screaming. What are they screaming for? Okay, the pendulum is going against his side. Now it's starting to move. He's starting to limit himself now. For one, he allowed it. Okay, yes, you could say it's his fault. For two, because of the lifestyle he chose. Now it's more about his girlfriend, wife, and his children. Should it be just a girlfriend? Because some of y'all just in a relationship. That's fine. So you can consider yourself to be in a committed relationship because you're with him. So therefore, what happens is that little guy on the inside begins to want something that you girls don't see. This is when, with the pressure that comes, he wants adventure. He wants to live his life again. He wants to feel like a man again. Not to say that having kids and being with you is not being a man. You got to understand something. Most men are, let's be real. Men are generally by nature polygamous. Okay? It's their nature to look for variety. It's their nature to look for something that is not only a challenge for him, but an accomplishment. But for some of you American women, the problem is y'all think that you're the Shangri-La. You think that you're this one woman who can marry this guy. You're going to be the army. Men love to have, on a general basis, for some of them who are real men, excuse me. I know I don't mind that. Okay. But I'm not going to get about Morpheus. But it's about nature. Okay. Where you got a lineup of 10 different women. Not to say he'll be with them, but 10 different women, different flavors, different varieties, different ideas, different functions. Okay. That keeps him on his toes, or at least give him something to continuously look forward to, if they so happen to have the quality to look to keep him interested in them. The problem is a lot of the American women here today, okay, as I told you before in the other video, you lose quality in your health and you start neglecting yourself, start cutting your hair, start gaining 50 pounds. You don't go to the gym anymore. Like his girlfriend, okay, that he was with, his wife that he was with. I was there. She stopped doing all those things because she had them. She started having the 5-6 kids. She was overweight. Okay, she did not she didn't jog. When I was out there playing with the kids, throwing the football, she wasn't there. She was inside watching TV, eating. You understand? So she didn't keep herself together. So when he came home, it wasn't a prize. It wasn't what some people call trophy wife. She may have been somewhat of a unicorn by being committed, by allowing him to be the man of the home and actually to function as a family. But at the end of the day, women, and some of you men, okay, he still needed her to remain that same beautiful girl that he met when they were 17 and 18. Not to say that she's going to look like that, but if she's trying, listen, if you're trying to lock a man down, then that means you want to be the 10 women all in one. Some of you don't even know how to tie your shoes and walk at the same time. How is that possible to tie your shoes and walk at the same time? That means be logical, sensible, okay, and make a well-balanced home or relationship as it should be, instead of always needing and wanting a demand from him and expecting for him to do everything. So you end up tripping over your own feet, being the own cause of him cheating on you. When he's in a situation like this, a lot of women say, why did he cheat on me? I had 5 kids with him, or 2 or 3 or 1. I did my hair every day. Why did he still leave? But yet you look at yourself in the mirror, you gained 150 pounds over a 2-year period and blame it on baby fat. Okay, you know that you're still busy screaming at the television at other women who are, slender. They're taking care of themselves. They're doing what they can. They're jogging. They're doing yoga or whatever else. But yet you're at home eating a bowl of ice cream, sherbet. Okay, and expect this man to be content when he already have pressure on him. So what happens is when he come home, like this gentleman, he's not coming home to anything of quality. He's coming home to labor. He's coming home to this wife who's expiring daily because she's not doing anything to keep herself up. She's not jogging. She's not doing anything to keep herself in line, to keep her her milk jugs from becoming floor mats. Okay. You know, if anything, all she do is go to the store and try to get a magical push-up bra and try to lie to him and make him think that he got something, but you forget he has to take to the bedroom eventually. Okay, and all truth is on the table and all the lies are thrown off the table immediately. So therefore, on the often occasion, you end up seeing him slipping away from you slowly, because with this gentleman, he began to do that. Although she was at home, it was a steady family, there was kids there, that don't matter. You still got an inner man and woman that's on the inside that's saying, no, I need to be taken care of, and it's not being taken care of. So the pendulum begins to bend against him, whereas the kids are a responsibility, and the woman herself, especially if she's not doing anything to level it out, ladies. Okay, by the demands and not taking care of you got to be the army. You got to be the one woman army that when he looks at you, you represent pretty much all the women. When you married to him, now this is real talk here. This right here is real talk, ladies. When you marry this guy, you are saying that you are the one woman army. You are saying you are every variety in his world, in his life. How are you going to be all that in his world and you ain't doing nothing for your health and your life to be all that? Most of you have a very bad habit of saying, well, I have kids by him, that should be good enough. You know, I married him, I did him a favor. Really? You did this man who's doing a 9-to-5 job and career, who is a natural man that can pretty much continue to impregnate, while you can only get pregnant one time, okay, for I don't know how many months, 8 or 9 months or something like that, okay, and he can continue to keep moving on. You're going to tell this guy who has a different chemistry and anatomy to you to just be satisfied with the fact that you had kids with him and that you married him as if it's a favor, and you stop doing what you can to keep the relationship going. And you got to know, men are visual creatures. They like what they see. Okay. They don't care about your degree. They don't care about where you come from. Okay. On a general basis, as long as where you came from is not going to bring debt and struggle in his world. As long as you being the feminine woman that he needs you to be, that's all that matters. And you keeping your hair, your body, and your health and your physique in order. Oftentimes, you women believe that because you go and get a pedicure, you get your fingers did, as some of you call it, get your wig done, as some of you call it, get your face made up with face paint like you go on to war, that's enough for this man. He's not looking all that. That's part of the cosmetic. That's the outside shell. He's looking at your body and your shape, how you take care of yourself. Are you jogging? Are you doing any physical sports? Are you doing the natural activities of everyday functioning, or just sitting there in front of the TV and say, well, I'm gaining 50 pounds. At least I'm his wife. That's good enough. When this guy comes home, like my friend, eventually, yeah, he's going to walk away from you. Eventually, he's going to cheat on you, and you don't know that. He's going to extend his time away from you. Eventually, it'll be more laborious, and eventually he's going to find that little guy on the inside, or a woman inside, if it's a woman in the same opposite situation, okay, they're going to find their freedom, because that's a bit of their soul. It's a piece of who they are. They want freedom. They want to live that life that they used to have. Okay? And the reason why I say this for some women, and this is for men, but I'm going to flip it just for a quick second to say this is how you're able to see a person for who they really are, especially some women that can't be committed, and they are so used to going out there and allowing men to chase them, and they want to do donkey, okay, instead of being committed, because she always have an ex-boyfriend or some boyfriend behind the curtain, okay, because she wants to go out there and do that. It would be one thing if she was just going out there because she want to be realistically independent, but a lot of women aren't realistically independent because there's always somebody there to support her, which is uncle, daddy, government, or some made-up job. All right, to a degree, but there's still going to be somebody on the side, as they claim that there isn't. If they're not doing that, they're chatting with them online. They're doing something with them on Facebook. All right. Usually it's not for the better. Most times it's for the worse if you look at the way that the country is today. Now you would say, where is your angle at with this, Morpheus? What are you talking about? That is a bad thing for him to come home to imagine. No, because you women got to understand, you got to make a place for him, is what I'm saying. This pendulum with this guy, it's not going to be even like that forever. When he's having kids by you, you're not jogging. Okay, he's going out being deployed. He's gone and you're at home playing bingo. All right. And when he comes home, he don't have no wrestling posters on the wall. He don't have his gun collection polished for him. Okay. He don't have a what do you call that? Anything masculine that portrays to him. Okay. Everything is moved aside because you want to clean the house out and put up colorful drapes. You want your Tupperware to be in certain areas. He goes into the kitchen and his kitchen is so pristine. Nothing about him is in the kitchen. Okay. Nothing about him is in the front room, but this big 56-inch flat screen television are bigger and this wide couch. Okay. But he's still not satisfied. He's like, man, I can't even see him concentrate to the football game or game. Okay. Because of all this responsibility that's behind me. Then the bedroom is the same thing. And eventually he'll begin to wake up. Eventually his red pill begin to click in. He'll say, man, my life is halved. Half my life is mine and half my other life is, of course, you know, your children and your wife. But he can't truly be content with that for too long when you make it uncomfortable for him, whereas you do nothing to make it appeasing for him to be there on a constant basis when you're not doing anything to keep yourself in line. You nagging all the time. You want him to take out the trash and he's been gone all day. You want him to flip the bill all the time. There's always never a restful moment where you have taken care of everything and all you have to do is come home, take his socks off and lay down in bed. Okay. Sometimes there's not even a cold beer waiting for him. Okay. And you may think that you're doing that, which is fine. If you're doing that, it's okay. You know, that works out. That's only part of it. But again, the big thing is you. Because you are his other half. He's the king in the home. You are the queen in his home. So when he comes home, he's looking at you. Besides his responsibilities with the kids and whatever's going on in the garage, okay, his main focus is what type of light you are bringing in his world. So if you're lopsided, you're gaining weight, you are a smoker, you got a bad attitude, you are not opening the door for him in many ways, okay? Your donkey dunking isn't what it used to be because now you want to do it when you get ready. Okay. You want to watch your own television channels. He has to sleep on one side of the bed and you're sleeping on the other side of the bed. He has to sleep on the couch sometimes while you sleeping in the bed because you want to nag and bring an attitude into his world. You're bound to fail. Regardless that you met him when you were 17 years old, regardless if you had 5 or 6 kids or 20 kids by this man. That inner man that's inside of him is still going to want to be free. And he's going to really want to be free even further still when he comes home to such a heavy burden and responsibility that's not made pliable for him. Or to be more realistic for some of you who are currently computerized thinking, more user friendly to bring it home to you. I'm going to give you another example and I'm going to end it, because this is getting very long, but it is very necessary. There is another client of mine. He, yes, is a male, and he's currently with his girlfriend. Yes. Okay. I dealt with them a couple of months ago, one of my current clients. And again, I was teaching and helping and providing as I usually do as Morpheus. Okay. No, I'm not going to tell you all the details of what I do because it's none of your business. Too bad. Get over it. Okay. I'm the teacher here. If you don't like it, switch over to a different channel. Okay. But I do, as I go, give you some experience and little breadcrumbs about myself to give you more enlightenment and to help you with your studies. Okay. Now, with this gentleman, he's been, again, the same situation with this woman who he have married and been with for at least 8 or 9 years. All right. And as I was teaching their children and tutoring them, oftentimes when I leave the place or when I'm coming to the place, usually he's getting ready to leave or he comes back. There are often times where he is there. Okay. And again, I watch the habitat. I just keep my eyes open and I focus on what this thing really is, because I'm not in a relationship and I'm not interested until laws change, until women get off of their high horse. Until I find a feminine woman, I'm not interested. Until I find a woman who reflects the opposite of me as Morpheus, I'm not interested. Okay. Until I find a woman who is not interested in my testosterone, meaning she don't want my testosterone for herself. She is only interested in her own estrogen. Okay, I'm not interested. Until I find women who know how to cook, clean, take care of, be submissive like they're supposed to be, as far as being understanding. That doesn't mean you are lesser or you a slave. That just means you're understanding. Okay, that means you are pliable. That means you are willing to compromise. That means you are not trying to overtake, not trying to bait and switch. Okay, until I find that type of lady, I am not interested, because all I see is destruction, trap, distortion, and an agent that is bound to create devastating destruction that I am not interested in. But the way that the world is and the way America carries itself up, okay, they have been proven not to be stable mentally, physically, and definitely for men of America. Right. So I'm studying because I see this guy with his woman next to him, okay, on a constant basis. While he don't understand what he got himself into, I do. Because what MGTOW and Red Pill Alpha guys know, such as myself, is that he's with something that is a devastation to his freedom, to his manhood, and to his possible growth, that he decided to cash it all in. So usually when I look at women like that, I got one eye open and one eye closed. So I'm blinking and I'm looking like, okay, this is an interesting situation. What is this species type? So get into the story. Same thing happened to him, which is the same as my other client / friend. Been with this woman for 8 or 9 years. Once upon a time, she was beautiful. I can imagine. She was a certain weight, and she had 3 kids with them over the years. You can imagine how old they are, since they, at least what I know of, been together for 8, 9 years or so. So they have younger kids. So I'm pretty sure they was together longer than that. I don't pry into people's business. Okay. But by the kids, I can do my calculations. However, oftentimes I have saw this guy just sit outside on the bench, on his chair, and he has his head down, and he's looking in his phone, and I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? And usually it's way after my lessons are done, and he's still sitting out there, and they're on the inside. Okay. No smile on his face, no excitement. There's nothing to him. There's no, yeah, he lights up when I come around. We conversate, we joke. I tell him the status of his children and what needs to be done for the next lesson, so forth, so on. But he's not completely uplifted or being himself. Okay. On the often I see him, and I kid you not, Morpheus is not going to lie to you. His drinking is a normal for him. I would never drink with him because I would not survive. I'm talking about can after can of beer, because he's trying to find escape. He's trying to find a way out. And he know in the back of his mind, ladies, listen, he know he made a mistake. It wasn't a mistake to be with her. It was a mistake of him not knowing what he was getting himself into. Because men, like you women, y'all have an opportunity to discuss what you stand for, what you don't stand for. You have an opportunity, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, to draw the line to say what will happen if this happened. But you men are scared. But because you men don't have the proper knowledge, you dive into selling your life away, practically, for misery. and then you bound to the kids for 18 years or more. It's going to be more than 18 years, but you need them to get to at least to that point to begin working with them. So seldomly I would come through or come past, because I got several clients pretty much in all areas, and I notice him standing outside smoking a cigarette. This guy have never smoked a cigarette before. Never smoked a cigarette. And him smoking a cigarette it was alarming for me. It was alarming, and I quickly understood that psychology. This guy is stressing out. This guy needs some deliverance. His little guy on the inside, his real man on the inside, needs to get out of there. He wants freedom. And I noticed his wife, he couldn't give her to me. She couldn't. There's no way in the heavens that that's attractive at all. Okay, she completely let herself go. And what some of you women need to comprehend, and you men, women who don't take care of themselves as they should physically, once they have a child, children have the ability of, and I'm going to be real with you since this is an adult audio, mess up a woman's body. Yes, the baby fat sometimes can be overwhelming. Okay, where she was once lean, shapely, no stretch marks. Okay, children will do damage to the woman's body. You need to keep a note on that. Women who do not take care of themselves anyway, they don't jog, they don't eat right, they don't do anything for themselves. Okay, they're only interested in Netflix. They go home, they watch Netflix, they always got their leg propped up on the table and expect for you to do everything. You work a 9 to 8 job, okay, and expect for you to be satisfied that she is at least propping her legs up on your table and dunking once every 6 months. Okay, where she feel like she don't need to polish the relationship. All right. And then all of a sudden you get her with child. What do you really think is going to happen? Now she's already stretched. She's really going to be stretched. And the repair is usually, it's not repairable because she haven't been taking care of herself to begin with. Even more so when she do not take care of herself even after the child. So you're bound to at least be in a relationship with someone who used to be 120 pounds or 32 to 145, 150 pounds, and it keeps increasing. She's bigger than you, and now you stuck. I don't ask these guys usually for what's on their mind. Usually it's as obvious, it's in my face. And obviously, most times they come to me. I remember there was a time where I walked past and session was, I was getting ready to go ahead and do my learning session with his children. And he had to go to the store, and I had to wait for these 5 to 10 minutes for him to get home. Okay, because he had to go grocery shopping. Right? Now, this is going to be mind-blowing, my men. Listen to me carefully. Okay, and you women, you need to comprehend what I'm telling you. The pendulum is bending now. There's a reason why I'm telling you this. He says, Leon C, come here, Leon C, come here. I show you something. Okay, all right. He brings me to his trunk, right? And I'm staring like, okay, you need help or something? He's like, no. I want to show you something. He said, you see all these groceries? You see all this stuff back here? And I'm like, yeah, look at all. He said, that's all for my kids. That's all for my kids in my life. That's all for them. And I'm sitting there like, wow, like, yeah, that's your bill. Like, yeah, they cost. But he showed me something else that's a kicker for you, women and men. Okay. He pointed to this little bitty bag in the corner of his trunk, little bitty bag with a keg of beer. Okay. Because he has to have his beer because he needs his relief. He's frustrated. Okay. So there's going to be a 24 pack of beer. Okay. Be sure of that. But yeah, little bit, he said, you know what? He said, that over there is mine. All this is theirs. Okay, now the pendulum is really tilting to the left. Now you'd be like, okay, is all this food is what the wife cooks for him? Do she cook like that for him on often? Does she? Seldom, every now and then. Okay, yeah, I can imagine. Yes, there's some cooking that she does for him every now and then. Okay, nothing wrong with the cooking. That's a fair thing. But he was basically saying, "Oh, that's not for me." It's like that right there in the corner is mine. All this is for them. Okay, when I, as teacher, again, there's nothing at home that really identifies him but a little bitty corner. Listen to me. It's happening around America. You don't know it because some of you just think you're in la la land and you're smoking and drinking and you really want to escape anyway by not even thinking at all. So you think Morpheus is crazy. You need to listen to MGTOW and Red Pill, guys. There's a reason why it's a red pill. Okay? Because it's real. No tools everywhere. Again, nothing on the wall, just all kid stuff. Little bitty bedroom. And let me tell you something about kids. Kids can be honest sometimes. Yeah, they have a childlike mind and they don't understand everything. And sometimes they get answers wrong. But when it comes to certain activities that their parents do, they can't lie about that. Okay. So, with one of the kids that I were teaching, they began to tell me that, I said, are you scared of the thunderstorm at night? That's how it happened. And they said, yeah, I get so scared, but I sleep with my mom, so I'm not scared. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, you sleep with your mom. Okay, that's you. Okay, I said, well, I said, so don't your dad sleep with you? Don't they sleep together? I said, they supposed to sleep together. Why are you sleeping in the bed with your mom? You supposed to be in another. Like, no, they don't sleep together. No, my dad sleeps in the other room. Of course, she pointed me to the other room, and there was his bed, and really not a lot manly anyway. It's just a bed. There was no posters up. There was no Google dolls. There was no collection of anything. There was no trophies. Nothing. Just a little bedroom, and that's it. Not even his tools sitting there. Just nothing. That kind of blew my mind for a moment there. And I put all the pieces together. I looked at the beer that he was drinking. I looked at the time when he was standing outside smoking and not smiling. And he's just looking, yeah, Mr. I need your help, blah, blah, blah. Okay. How's my children? How's it work? Oh, okay. Yeah, they're learning. Okay, nice. It's another day. Another mind-blowing situation. I'm going to get off the story for you people who think that it's a game. Okay. I think it was a couple of days after, okay, those situations. He invited a couple of his brothers over, okay, to sit and talk with him. All right. And I never seen this man happy as I saw him happy that day. Okay. I don't have a time clock. Usually I operate at day and at night because I'm always on the go. I'm on my grind. I'm doing teaching. Okay, I'm studying. I'm focusing. I'm helping people. I'm pretty much everywhere. Morpheus is Morpheus. Okay, simple as that. So as I'm still in the area with several other clients, I still hear him out there, laughing, joking, just enjoying himself. Just like, wow, like I never heard. Now, who's this guy over there laughing and joking? Like, what's going on? He felt free. He felt he was in his zone like he should have been to begin with. He was able to hang out with his buddies or his friends, really feeling free, really laughing like I never heard him before, joking and, crushing beer cans, and they're singing a little bit of, they was listening to something that was on their cell phone. You could hear the music from a distance. Like, okay, nice. I wanted that for him. But then, of course, psychology and reality tells us that, he's not happy. Like, how was this when you have a steady girlfriend at home? Again, it goes back to the point, ladies, of letting yourself go. And the pendulum bends where you think that, it's all about family. It's all about me. And then he cheats on you. He leaves home and he's constantly gone. And you say, I can't find a good man to stick. Because what is he giving his life away for? The kids are a valuable thing, okay? Not a thing, just a valuable little person, or you can say a little adult. Okay. And a lot of people don't necessarily regret their children, but they have them too soon. And oftentimes they don't realize the responsibility of them versus the women. Now, if I continue on what I'm going to say, I'm going to go ahead and move on to finish up this audio and give you the punchline of it all. All right. Let me give you several rules that you should know already, men, and some of you women need to second guess yourself. It's not coming down on you. I am not a judge. I'm just giving you hardcore facts. If you don't want to hear it from me, you're going to hear it eventually by another content creator. Okay? Leon C, aka Morpheus, is real and telling you accurate. Okay? Facts is the majority of women, okay, men, women want you when other women want you. When other women are wanting you, other women want you. There's major reasons behind this. There are other teachers that will explain this to you. Okay, and they have their own idea of why women do this. But it is very ridiculous and it is sad. It's sad that once you get in a relationship, once you get married, then all the women that you wanted to be with start coming around the corner, okay, and trying to destroy your newly found relationship or your resolve. Okay, that shows you, and it's very basic, that most, if not all of the women are agents of chaos, because it's chaotic for them to finally come around the corner because some other woman wants to be with you, as if you're some dangerous lion that needs to be patted first to see if you are safe to approach. But there's more to it than that I'm not going to get into in this video. I'm just going to put that out there for some of you who think that that your swagger is untouchable and that you're getting the best of the litter. You need to question yourself. This woman needs to be with you regardless of who's with you or who's not with you. The honor of a woman is when she is interested in you, even if the world is not interested in you. If she's interested in you just because you're popular or you got something to offer or because other women want you, that's not the woman for you. Walk away and close the door. The next thing is, with her, you need to understand that you need to be honest and forward as to what you stand for and what you want. Otherwise, she's going to continue to go downhill, men. You got to understand something, and I'm not judging you or coming down hard on you. This is just a red pill to save you. Weak men usually cohabitate at this time of life. Do you understand? Weak men usually need to cohabitate with a woman at this time on a general basis, especially if you don't have the proper information as to how liberated women are today and how much she's capable of bait and switching him and capable of doing him like these two clients of mine that I have just explained to you. Because worse still, if he knew anything about the red pill and if he studied the correlation of the world and how the civil dispute is happening behind closed doors between man and woman, okay, he will be a lot more careful not to cohabitate, but to make sure that he gets his act and his self together. So he's really, realistically, some of you men don't get upset if I say that if you are cohabitating, because I know you think it's paradise, you know, you think it's the way. Okay, but you need to know the statistics that relationships do not last as long as you think it is, and the argument, as you may think is comfortable and trying to do everything you can to solve the problem. Okay, you're not the problem, men. Sometimes women cannot be satisfied. Okay, and they've been doing that for decades because not too many red pill men have been given the proper red pill. We are still trying to get out of that blue pill world. You're still trying to understand the woman for what she really is. But obviously, that exposure should already be available for the masses that aren't reaching as far as they need to be. Unfortunately, those guys, not only do they cohabitate with a woman, Their fear of her cheating on him leads him to have devastating thoughts of himself and her, meaning he wants to hurt himself or hurt her because he allowed himself to be too fully invested in this chaotic species, okay, of possible distortion in his world. Okay? Because often you must know that even if you have a conversation with another woman, she would tell you something about women herself. That she even know that on the often, especially today with feminism, today with women needing, shall I say, in their own perspectives, their sense of liberation, which they've already been liberated, which the pendulum is already bending too far on their side by bending totally against the man's masculinity and manhood, that they've had a full advantage for the longest of time. So they will even tell you that it's not a good idea, that you need to keep an eye open on the girl. Not a wise thing to do. So therefore, when they think of hurting themselves or her because the relationship don't go right, because she divorce rapes him, because she wants to break up with him, because she cheats on him, or seldomly, but it happens, he cheats on her because he don't understand that on the inside it's really the inner man wanting to be free, but he signed up for something he wasn't ready for. Okay, it's a sign of a weak man. A man who is strong is a man full of knowledge, okay, full of red pill, full of being up to date as to what's going on in the current world. Men should not, I advise you, should not need to challenge other men. Men need to stick together. Men need to now start supporting each other. Men need to start now saving men, like my two clients that I have spoken to you about, to prevent men from that. If I had met them years ago before they met these women, I would have told them what I'm getting ready to tell you in a few minutes. Okay? I would have helped them if I knew that they were going to actually submit themselves in such a horrible way, whereas now it's nothing but regret. You may think it's only limited to them. I can pretty much guarantee you that it's more than just these two gentlemen. There's so many people who are married now, 14 years, 15 years, 20 years. His life is in the garage and on couch. She has 3/4 of the house and proud about it and claim to be independent and a strong woman. Now I must tell you this. There is a gentleman that I respect, and it is Tom Leykis. That's right. Trust me, I am not a wealthy man, nowhere near it. Perhaps one of these days. I'm just a simple messenger and Morpheus of the nether realm. Okay? But you know what I have, men? I have my freedom. I have something that's more valuable than casting your stones away and thinking with your little head and thinking by tradition and being forced into thinking you need to be committed to this girl because of church and hellfire based on old so-called perceptions of people who have allowed the world to be what it is today. Okay? Your freedom of your inner self is very, very valuable. You have to be honest with the woman and tell her how you really feel. Morpheus, have had an experience with several of my girlfriends where when I begin to experience these things with my clients and other men, I told myself and promised myself that I would not allow myself to be in that situation. And I will tell these girls straightforward, men, I will tell these girls exactly how I feel and what I stand for. You will be surprised even if you tell them how you feel and what you expect. You think you're going to lose getting a chance to donkey dunk with them. You think they're going to leave and walk out the door and you never see them again. If you do, thank the heavens. Okay? You should be glad that one is gone. You just got rid of one of them. Be ready to get rid of 1,000 of them because a lot of them are seeking to parasite off of you in more ways than one. They want a retirement plan and they want to throw their baggage on you. So therefore, by locking you down with 4 or 5 different kids or sometimes even one child, okay, you are done for the rest of your life because you don't listen to individuals like Morpheus. Okay. But however, Getting back to the point before I lose my place. Okay? When you tell a woman how you feel, if anything, it makes her respect you even more. If anything, it gives her an idea and no excuse to let your principles disappear. Because most of you men don't know that it is your task to tell her your requirements. She tells you her requirements. Oftentimes she tells you what you want. Even if she don't tell you what she wants, you still need to say, I need to have space for myself. I need to have something for me. I need you to be this way. If you're not this way, I don't want to be with you. Now, some of you may think this is harsh, but I've done it and it have worked like a charm, and the relationship was fluid, but there was only certain other distractions that have caused it not to survive. Because again, here in America, because the lifestyle of the liberation of women getting away with anything and everything and not being accountable for it, okay, they have the ability to even create a very good, sensible situation that's working well, mind you. So I was with this girl who was used to men giving her everything. Birthday, taking her out to eat. And she felt like she needed to do nothing and that he needed to flip the bill constantly. She felt like she can say anything she wanted to say and there was no consequences. Okay? I could tell you several situations, but I'm going to tell you what I did to change the perspective, men. I told her blunt face constantly what I expected. If it wasn't done, I wasn't afraid to tell her there's the door right there. As soon as you walk out, okay, that's going to be okay for me because I am going to replace you. I'm going to let you know that right now. I need you to do something for me. I am with you because I want you to be, okay, my lady. I need you to be my companion. I need you to be a support, not a hindrance. When I need to donkey dunk, okay, I need it to be right. I don't need your lip. I don't need your attitude. Okay, and I didn't come this far in life to struggle with you because that's not what a relationship's about. I need you to be on my side. If you're not on my side, okay, you got to go. Simple as that. She didn't get up and walk away. She didn't get mad. If anything, she shook her head and said, I understand. That's the way that it has to be. I understand. You got principles, Leonce. I respect that you have principles, Leonce. Men, do you understand? Some women will respect that. Oh, I respect that. I respect that you need to protect and provide for yourself. I respect that you need to hold up your own banners and your standards, man. There was a time she tried to play a game on me. And it was a time where she wanted to be entertained. She felt like, oh, I want to go out and get something to eat. I just wanted to go home and cook something and relax. She said, remember that time you took us out to, we went out to eat? You remember that time? That's one of the first few days that I met her, when I was just having a conversation, just talking, getting to know people, just getting to get your toe wet in what they are all about. She said, remember that time we went out to eat? I want to do that again. That was so nice. I turned to her and I said specifically, I said, listen, I said, if you're talking about that now, what makes us going out to eat different than me sitting at home cooking? You mean to tell me that we got to go out in a restaurant around other people in order for you to have a good time? I said, listen, if you cannot enjoy being here with me right here and now while we're at home and the sensibilities of my home cooking, if you can't just be around me right now, okay, you're out of luck and you're wasting your time. And we are not going nowhere to eat. So if you want to go to that place to get something to eat, go. I'm not stopping you. She couldn't say anything. You understand? She got quiet in that moment. You know what she did? She sat down and she did not go anywhere. She did exactly what I said, not as a demand, I wasn't rough-handed. No, I wasn't aggressive. I just said, no, we're not going out to eat. You need to be satisfied with simplicity. I am not your clown and I'm not your entertainer. Okay? I don't have a white painted face with a red nose. If you want to find a blue pill beta retard milk drinker, okay, he's not in this house. Morpheus is not a milk drinker. I'm an alpha guy. I don't play those games. That kept her in line, men. And as a matter of fact, she began to respect me even more. She knew that I didn't take no stuff. Okay? And she got right and she straightened out. Because you got to remember, men, listen carefully. Most times you are cleaning up the misconception that blue pill beta guys have been programming into the daughter's mind for years. You are cleaning up the mess that some of her absent or even present blue pill fathers have been programming in the woman's head or even her friend's head. Her friend's been doing that to her, blowing her head up. So most times when you get with women, you are looking at the byproduct of a blue pill unlearned beta man or a blue pill beta father. So you got to clean up their mess and say, yeah, they have done that for you. They do that. I'm not going to do it. This is what I stand for. This is what I want. She began to ask me, what type of woman do you want, Leoncie? How do you want this relationship to survive? I said, I want you to remain you. I'm going to tell you right here and now. If you stop taking care of yourself, you chop your hair, you gain weight, I'm going to promise you, actually, I'm promising you, I promise you, okay, you are going to be out of the door. You're going to be done for. And I'm not going to waste my time with you. Ladies and gentlemen, she did not take me for granted, and she did not think I was bluffing with her. Every step of the chance, she began to try to take care of herself. I saw her. She began to jog and run. She wanted to go to the gym with me. Okay, too bad I don't have pictures of that, but she did. Okay, she did what she can to stay in the mirror and take care of herself natural. She didn't put on a lot of makeup because I don't need a clown for a woman. She understood that there was a standard in the relationship, men. If you don't tell your women where the standards are for you, they won't know where the standards are. Let me say that again. Maybe some of you don't understand because you get yourself in a 15-year marriage and she gains 200 pounds and you want to complain to the world and divorce her. Okay, you get mad because she had 3 or 4 different kids and they're still baby fat. She didn't work off. If you let women know where the standards are and the principles, then she will know where the standards are and the principles. If any time a woman look at that as a form of control and what you call that, low confidence, or, oh, you're just insecure in this relationship, that tells you right now that she is not the type of woman you need to be with. That means she's going to try to challenge your natural and personal principles and standards. You are allowed to have personal standards and principles. Women should not be challenging that. They should respect it. But yet, in retrospect, she always anticipate and try to program you by the environment, the government, people, and her best friends that you need to respect her principles and standards, whatever that is. You open up the door, you pay the bills, you suffer, you work your fingers to the bone, and she sit down and watch Netflix. Nip Tuck, if that's ever still on television. Maury Show. Okay? And you come home and be like, what if you did, honey? Well, yeah, I cooked and I cleaned the house, but that's it. I'm not fascinated about what did you do to... Listen, ladies. Your health and your body is an asset to a man. That's what we want. That's what I want. Don't tell me that you... Yeah, I wash the clothes. Yeah. Washing the clothes is every day. Thank you. Good. Yeah, I cooked for... Yep, I like the food. I need it. Oh, your bath water's ready. Yep, that's a plus. I want you to know, what did you do to take care of my value? So, what is your value? You. Your health, keeping yourself together, keeping your attitude in check, being loyal, keeping yourself modest, walking out of the house looking feminine, wearing a dress, not trying to wear pants like me. When I come home, what did you do? Oh, I did some sit-ups, baby. Oh, I'll do some push-ups. You know what? I brought this new yoga video. Man, I'm getting my Pilates together. Look at this. Look at my arm. Oh my God. It's starting to tighten up a little bit. That will put a smile on my face. Now you taking care of something that I really care about, because I care about you. Lots of men know that. Lots of men care about how you maintain yourself. They just don't say nothing about it. Like they're afraid. They're afraid that to them it's fat shaming, or it's a form of control, or you're so insecure if you want me to walk out of the house and cover up my skin. Like, wait a minute, woman. No, you are my most valuable asset. I don't want you flaunting around everywhere, because you are valuable to me. I want to keep you, and you are mine to love and to appreciate. Not mine as into property, but mine because I want to make sure that this relationship is going to survive, and I don't need vultures and other men looking at what's supposed to be mine. Same as what you feel for me. Knowing full well most women have flipped upside down. You walk out of the house and you are just lackadaisical and flamboyant with all the other girls who can get and take what belongs to her. She herself will be the first one to try to bash your windows out and slash your tires. So the pendulum's supposed to be both ways, but it hasn't been that way because some of you men are scared. You don't understand that the game is being played on you because you're not standing up to be alpha blue pill and taking alpha red pills and taking the red pills daily like you're supposed to. If you want a woman to do right in your world, tell her where your right angles are. Tell her where your ruler is. Ruler means it's a straight line. It means this is where the boundary is. If you don't create, oh, I just love this woman, she's just so adorable, I'm not going to tell her about how I really feel. I'm just going to stand outside and smoke and drink myself to death. I'm just going to just go ahead and cheat on her with this other girl who's, I don't know, age 24, 25, who's 120, 119 pounds. I'm never going to go back home and tell my girlfriend how I really feel because I think she's going to get mad at me. No, you tell her to begin with before she even goes down that road. Listen, if you have a child, your better be in the every single day. You understand? You better work this off. I don't mind paying child support for 18 years to get rid of that 18-year misery that you're going to put on me if I got to come home and look at Sasquatch or look at Jabba the Hutt telling me, you need to love me for who I am. This is how you married me, so you need to be happy. And you men got to go outside and drink a keg of beer to get rid of the images in your mind. Yeah, that's really manly. Men go in there, they tighten their belt up, stick your chest out and say, listen, woman, either you do it or I am willing, okay, to chop it up. Meaning willing to just cut it off and say, I don't need you. It's done. You are, listen, ladies and women, you are in a relationship for a reason. What is that person doing for you besides, I know most of your finances, he's paying my bills. Nah, Men are in a relationship with you for you. He liked what he saw, so he needs to maintain what he see. I know about some of the men who aren't satisfied. Yeah, we know about that subject, blah, blah. Yeah, there are men out there who are just natural dogs because, yes, they have a habit of just donkey dunking. They they don't want to be committed at all. That's your fault for choosing him. Choose a better man. But oftentimes, it's not like that here in America. It's because women, they go down the slope head first because they're liberated to do so. And they turn around and look at the man, such as myself or every other red pill, to say, you know what? I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. That's not the type of thing that women should do. Guess what happens? They'll still go down the slope. I don't care. This is what we do. We are women. We are liberated to do so. My body, my choice. I don't care. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. Okay, it's going to be your body. It's going to be your future. And guess what? There are plenty of women just like you who is above the age of 40 who can't find a man today. No matter how many degrees they have, okay, or dogs they have to walk per day. Okay, and pretending that you're something by Botox, plastic surgery, and putting on 3 times face paint makeup isn't going to help you. Because men are getting the red pill like a hurricane, you understand? Or a tornado coming down on the city. And you wonder why men are silent. They're like, no, I ain't gonna do that, man. Okay? They're getting to the point where men are like, listen, I'm going to get this fish, I'm going to kiss it, and I'm going to throw it back in the water. Simple as that, ladies. If you're going to be that fish that's going to stay on the boat, you better be the golden fish. You better be that one that's going to be the fish that you was in the beginning, that you still are now. Okay? Taking care of yourself and being dutiful for it. Because if you understand your anatomy, if you understand that it is harder for you to maintain getting rid of the fat count that you may gain either before or after pregnancy. Okay, if you understand how you need to operate to take care of this guy and make sure that his home is comfortable, make sure that when he come home that the pendulum isn't going against him, that he's not looking at the trunk saying, oh, you know, that little bag is mine and all the rest. No, he needs to look at the trunk and say, no, I got all this that's about me, and all this is about her, and it's about them at the same time. If it's all about, oh, all I need to do is just be a woman and that's it. Be glad that I'm a woman in your world. You need to be happy that I chose you to marry me. Okay? You are in for a world of hurt, and you wonder why marriage isn't the idea for you men, or idea for America in general. Some of you may not like this red pill, but again, going back to, in the end of this, going back to what I said about Tom Likas, he told the truth. Okay, there was a lot of factors that he was talking about. Okay, and most of my subjects isn't generally derived from what he talked about. This is derived from personal experience. This is derived from men who are actually going through these things, who haven't received the message yet. And definitely some of you women who think that this is the world of paradise. Okay, some of you women don't even like other women, but yet you don't begin to realize that your liberation is causing more of the distortion and destruction for the American family than it is unifying it, because men aren't getting anything out of it. Don't you realize that's the subject I just gave you for this men who keep going? He get deployed and he come back. Nothing's there but loud children and a woman who's getting bigger. Or this man who had only 2 or 3 kids by this girl and she's looking like she's God. Really? And then you say, oh, women are the greatest things on the planet. Y'all keep messing around, you're going to wake up. And once that time clock stops, you cannot get time back. You cannot get it back. Once you're 54 and you keep getting older and you can't go out there and get you a fly daddy anymore. Okay, the time of regret is long past. So, a lot of you may not like this audio, and it may rub you wrong, but I can't help but give you the facts, and this is for my emailers, okay, who need to know the in-depth detail, okay, that your life depends on it. Usually, life surrounds certain things. It surrounds weddings, which I recommend not being a part of, graduations, which is school, okay. It surrounds life and death, and it surrounds relationships, eating, and jobs. Okay, major subjects, major things like that. All right. So being with the opposite sex is a major issue in America. It's a major issue in the average person's life. That is where we need to get right. That's what we need to start studying and break down the deception and do this as we are supposed to. If you keep those rules of thumb in mind, you won't be the one to say, why did they cheat on me? Well, Morpheus told you why. Because they come home, and what is there for them to come home to? When, as you are getting out of shape, there are women who are looking better and better in his eyes. Okay? And then, oh, yeah, it's okay for him to cheat on me. We've been together for 14. I know he cheated twice. We're not going to be a perfect relationship. That's no excuse. It don't have to be that way. So if you think you're going to lock this man down and you're not the golden fish and you're not the one woman army, you know you're in for a severe rude awakening and more failure, willingly diving into failure. And you men need to know what you're getting yourself into anyway. Well, you know, God said it's better to marry than the bird. God didn't say that. Man said that by the written word, by man's fingers in your so-called Bible. No, today, it's better not to marry than it is to marry and burn while you're in the marriage. Because there's nothing worse than you sitting outside your own home regretting what's on the inside. When you can be outside with your boys, you can be riding your motorcycle, you can be hunting, you can be going to a hotel just relaxing, or you can be with a woman who you don't really have to be committed to. A young, beautiful thing. Somebody who's working out that your girlfriend or wife's not doing. Someone who would fold your clothes for you, laugh with you, play chess with you if she know how to. Someone who would you can go to the bar with and play darts with, and she won't judge you for anything. She's not going to complain that you got your shoes in the wrong area. She's not going to give you an ugly bitch face when you come home, okay? Or scowl at you. She's not going to do anything like that. She's going to welcome you all the time. No strings attached. You understand? Sometimes that's the best option than there is to be locked down with someone who's just going to take a large portion of your life and throw it away. There's nothing more in existence than to be free, to be who you are. Okay? Nothing more than that inner person that's within you to be outside of you, living its life, not coiling on the inside, okay? Because it's bound by condition. That is this audio, and there's more to come. And if you misunderstand me, that's your problem, because I've explained practically everything to you. And I've already told you what I meant in the beginning of this series. And also, there will be more videos and audios to come. So if you don't understand this one, I told you we're taking baby steps. You don't need to be negative now. I don't need your comments now unless it is positive comments where you're understanding. I just need to know that you understand. If you don't understand, stay in the classroom. If you don't understand, stay in Morpheus's classroom and subscribe, and you will get the picture eventually. All we need right now is I just need to know that you understand, that you are at least getting somewhere, and I am not wasting my time with you. Because this red pill, okay, is vital. That little guy on the inside or little woman that's on the inside, I want those to come out. That's my focus. So that way, when you are at your best, America can be at its best. Couples can come together for the right reason. You know what to expect when you look in this man in the face and that man's looking at you in the face. I know some of you get tired of the talk about how conniving and unstable women are. But you have the power to change that. You got the power to reflect maybe on yourself and of other women and do something about it. So therefore, when men look at you, he's not looking at a snake in disguise. He's looking at something he can depend on again, that he can invest in again, that she's not going to flip and bait and switch on him again. She's going to keep herself together like she's supposed to, and not fart in his face and say, "Oh, I'm liberated. I can do whatever I want to do because I'm a woman. Forget you." Well, if I can't be with you, I'm going to be a lesbian. Apparently. That is his audio. There's more to come. For you who have not graduated yet, again, stay in the classroom. For those who have graduated, feel free to leave a comment and be positive so other people can learn something in this classroom. This is Leon C, aka Morpheus. And thanks for your patience through this series. And like, share, and subscribe. And look up that book that I have available for you.